An epic moment today. Manny Pacquiao meets Mike Tyson. There's Mike Tyson and Troy. Here's Manny Pacquiao with John Singsong. Together, they are talking. Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao. Check it out.
Mike Tyson, congratulations. This is a beautiful gym. I hope that there's a lot of people will inspire to train here. Thank you. Congrats. Mike, congrats. Congratulations. Yes, beautiful. Thank you. I'm here to support you. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Support you.
Idol yan sa Mike. Idol yan si Mike. Idol po kayo.
Manny Pacquiao is back, and this time, he's training with the legendary Mike Tyson. As Pacquiao gears up for his explosive comeback fight against Mario Barrios, he's tapping into Tyson's brutal power and mindset. Two icons, one mission. This unexpected alliance is turning heads and sending a clear message. Pacquiao isn't just returning, he's aiming to dominate.
No fighter looks more sensational than Pacquiao looked the other night.
I think like Gennady Golovkin looks sensational.
Hey, he doesn't. That man don't make those moves.
Oh, let me sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather.
Then that shows that you're a neophyte in boxing. You know nothing about boxing.
Mike Tyson's respect for Manny Pacquiao runs deep, and it's more than just admiration. It's recognition from one of boxing's most feared legends to one of its most relentless warriors. Tyson, who has always valued grit, aggression, and fearlessness in the ring, sees a kindred spirit in Pacquiao, and that's no small thing. Tyson came up in an era defined by heavyweight dominance. Ali, Holmes, Frazier, Foreman, where size and power reigned supreme. So when a smaller man like Pacquiao earns Tyson's respect, it speaks volumes. Pacquiao, a natural featherweight who climbed through 8 weight divisions, defied boxing physics. And in doing so, he caught the eye of Iron Mike.
One more.
Oh, bro,
Thank you. Give me, baby.
1, 2. All right. Love. Thank you, bro.
Tyson has always celebrated fighters who bring raw intensity and unwavering courage to the ring. What sets Pacquiao apart in Tyson's view isn't just his speed or volume punching, it's his mindset, his refusal to back down. Whether it's facing taller opponents, more powerful punchers, or younger contenders, Pacquiao always stepped forward. That relentlessness is what Tyson respects most. For a man like Tyson, who made a career off of intimidation and aggressive forward pressure, watching someone like Pacquiao fearlessly charge into battle, regardless of who's in front of him, hits differently. Even as Pacquiao pushes toward his mid-40s, Tyson still sees that fire burning. That still doing it today kind of spirit is rare in boxing, and Tyson knows it.
You know, I respect it in the game. I don't know why I respect this guy, just because he's short, I think. But Pacquiao,
Oh, he's brilliant.
that motherfucker right there, that's probably one of the few fighters besides you, Muhammad Ali, all you guys, that Hagler and all those guys and stuff like that. That little fucker right there, I never seen that guy back away from anybody. Tall, short, he goes in there and says, fuck it, okay, great. And he's still doing it today, I don't know, 40 years old?
Yeah. Close to 50, yeah.
Because who's the other guy, Hopkins?
He's a great guy. He's a great fighter.
He should have retired a long time ago.
He's 51 years old.
For someone like Tyson, who built his name by being fearless and always moving forward, seeing Pacquiao fight with the same kind of drive really means something. Even now, with Manny in his 40s, Tyson still sees that same hunger. That kind of passion doesn't come around often, and Tyson knows it. But here's the cool part, Pacquiao actually grew up watching Tyson. Back in the early 90s, Manny was just a poor kid in the Philippines, sitting in front of a small TV, watching Tyson knock guys out left and right. Tyson was a hero to him. him. The way Mike entered the ring with that look, that power, it made a huge impression on Manny. He said before that Tyson was one of the big reasons he wanted to become a boxer in the first place. He didn't have much, no fancy gear or training, but he had that dream, and that dream was fueled by watching Tyson fight. Now, all these years later, the same guy he looked up to was standing in his corner, helping him train and pushing him to dig deep again. It's a full circle moment that not many fighters ever get to live.
Right there.
I watched this fight 1990s and I became a boxer.
You guys took a picture of the weigh-in of Madam Tinky. Love a picture. Valerie. Better half.
Now, all these years later, the same guy he looked up to was standing in his corner, helping him train and pushing him to dig deep again. It's a full circle moment that not many fighters ever get to live. And Pacquiao's impact isn't just felt by legends like Tyson, it stretches across the fight world, including voices like Joe Rogan. Joe's always been fascinated by Manny, not just because of his skills, but because of how unique he is as a person. To him, Pacquiao is this rare mix, super humble, always smiling even when people are talking trash. But the second the bell rings, it's like flipping a switch. Rogan's pointed out how Pacquiao can laugh off pre-fight insults and then completely dominate his opponent inside the ring. He remembers moments like when Keith Thurman made bold claims before their fight, saying he'd crucify Pacquiao, only for Manny to stay calm, wish him luck, and then go in and shut it all down with pure class and violence. It's that contrast, gentle outside the ring, a storm inside it, that makes Manny such a one-of-a-kind fighter in Rogan's eyes.
He's an interesting guy, man, because he's so friendly.
Right.
You know, like even like when people are trash talking, he's like smiling, and then gets in that ring.
Kick your ass later.
Different fucking dude. Right. Once he steps through that roast, like this is a whole different set of rules he's flying with.
Like Keith Thurman talking about you gonna crucify him and stuff like that, and he just like,
don't say that. Yeah. Okay.
And got crucified.
Yeah, but he's.
I wish you the best.
Too.
Good luck in that fight.
What's crazy about him is his calves.
Yeah.
When you look
massive.
at that, they're giant. Yeah. They're like a thigh.
And I know the reason why, because in General Santos, the mountains that he runs and that steep hill, that's why they're so big, because he's always constantly running the mountains. And I was doing the mountain runs with him.
Yeah.
My calves started getting bigger and bigger. But I understand, why his calves are huge. But he's always bouncing. He's always moving around.
Yes.
Like he'll bounce for like 20-something rounds. He'll do his pads and he's jumping up and down. And he really is an unbelievable person, unbelievable athlete, and a legend of the sport. I think as time progresses, people are really gonna, appreciate his greatness.
Even Floyd Mayweather, arguably the best defensive boxer ever, has given Manny his credit. There was a time when fans were sure Pacquiao was the one guy who could finally hand Floyd his first loss. And while the fight didn't happen until both were past their peak, Floyd still admitted it. Manny was one of the best fighters he ever faced. He talked about how tough that fight was, how Manny just kept coming, never slowed down, and made it clear he wasn't there to play around. Floyd had to stay sharp the whole time, keep his distance, and keep moving because he knew one mistake could change everything. Even though Floyd got the win, he never brushed Manny off. He knew Pacquiao was the real deal. Manny didn't beat Mayweather, but the fact that he was even seen as a real threat to someone like Floyd, someone who's never been beaten, says a lot. He was never just another opponent. He was a guy who could have flipped the whole script with just one big moment.
No way in hell you 5'8". I remember you fought Pacquiao, they said you was 5'6" and a half.
You mean I beat Pacquiao?
You did whoop his. At any point, did a fighter ever make you feel like, oh, my legacy is in jeopardy?
No, but I've been in a fight. I get like in the third or fourth round, like, tonight gonna be a rough night.
Okay.
One of the best fighters I faced was Manny Pacquiao. He's a future Hall of Famer.
What the is it about Manny, man? He just don't stop coming.
But you know me, I keep my distance because he's real short. I keep turning him.
Yeah, but I think this, height doesn't mean anything because, short people can.
Pacquiao, Mayweather. What would have been different had they fought, let's just say 5 years earlier? Because everybody believed they wanted that fight. We had been clamoring for that fight for 5-10 years. Had they fought 5 years earlier, is the outcome any different?
Let's just say it would have probably been a controversial decision.
Okay.
Like a closer fight. Mm-hmm. But I still think that Floyd probably would have pulled it off. I really do think so. Pacquiao at the time when he was coming up, when I fought him, he was literally a Pac-Man.
Right.
He was just chomping at me like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
He wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop throwing punches. That Pacquiao probably gives Mayweather a better fight.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if he wins, but he gives him a better fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you feel this fight happened a couple of years.
A little too late, you know? You want to see a back and forth, and you want to see evenly matched on paper.
Even though Oscar De La Hoya believes that if the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight had happened 5 years earlier, Manny would have given Floyd a much tougher night, he couldn't help but think back to his own experience with Pacquiao. For Oscar, that fight wasn't just tough, it was the night everything changed. He went into that bout drained, barely making weight, and physically not himself. But the moment the first round started, he realized something was wrong. Manny hit him and he just couldn't respond. His instincts were gone, his timing was off, and his body simply couldn't keep up. Round after round, Pacquiao didn't slow down. Oscar felt overwhelmed, like there was no way out. He's opened up about what was going through his mind that night, and it wasn't just frustration, it was deep, emotional pain. By the 7th or 8th round, everyone in his corner wanted to stop the fight, including the ref and the trainers, but Oscar asked for one more round. Not out of pride, but because at that moment he genuinely felt like maybe one more punch would end it all. That's how heavy it got. And now, all these years later, with Manny lacing up the gloves once again, the question hangs in the air. Will Mario Barrios be the next name added to that legacy? Maybe Barrios thinks he's catching an aging Pacquiao, just like Oscar once thought. But history has shown that counting Manny out never ends well.
44 for that fight, and I was a skeleton. It was too much. So I knew in my head that it was over for me. The first round happened. He punched me. I couldn't throw back. My instincts weren't there. My fast twitch muscles weren't there. And every single round, if you watch my documentary that came out on HBO called The Golden Boy, it explains to you what I was thinking, what I was feeling. I literally wanted to die in that ring. In the 8th round, everybody was gonna stop it, okay? Or the 7th round. One of those rounds, everybody wanted to stop it, including the referee, the trainer. And I said, no, I want one more. Because in my head, I was thinking, if he punches me, maybe I won't wake up, you know?
Were there some other things?
But not everyone's buying into the fairy tale. While the legends and fighters who face Pacquiao know exactly what he brings to the ring, promoter Eddie Hearn isn't convinced. He sees things differently. In his view, the welterweight division has moved on. He believes Jaron Boots Ennis is the new star of the weight class. And as for Pacquiao, Hearn doesn't think the comeback story ends in victory. In fact, he's clear that there's no way Manny beats Mario Barrios. Even though Barrios has been beaten before, Eddie still doesn't see a path for Manny to win. He respects Pacquiao's legacy, sure, but in his eyes, that time has passed. It's a bold take, especially when you line it up next to the praise Manny's been getting from legends like Tyson, Floyd, and Oscar. But that's what makes this fight so compelling. It's a clash of beliefs.
The thing about the welterweight division for Boots now is he's the star of the welterweight division. Like, tell me another star in the welterweight division. There isn't.
Well, it depends if Pacquiao comes back.
Well, he's not going to beat Barrios, is he? So
it's a possibility.
There's absolutely no chance in the world that he beats Barrios. I mean,
Barrios has been beat multiple times.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, Pacquiao he's still top 20, top 30 guy in the world, but he couldn't beat Mario Barrios. But listen, if he does, fantastic. But right now, the biggest name in the division by a long way is Boots.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, it's a very contentious subject. Like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world, and activity world,
and then there are those who think it's time for Manny to hang it up for good. Sean Porter, a former champion who knows the grind of the welterweight division firsthand, is one of them. He doesn't say it out of disrespect, it's quite the opposite. He sees Pacquiao as someone who's already done more than enough. 2 Hall of Fame careers, as Porter puts it. One as the young wrecking ball from the early 2000s, and another as the seasoned legend who kept defying the odds well into his 40s. For Sean, that loss to Yordenis Ugas wasn't a fall, it was a fitting final chapter. A performance solid enough to say goodbye with pride. He respects the fact that Manny was still willing to face top-tier competition when most in his position would have walked away. But at some point, Porter believes it's not about proving anything anymore. It's about preserving what's already been built, and in Manny's case, that's a legacy most fighters could only dream of.
Do we all collectively feel that Manny should retire?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Hell of a career.
Not disrespectful.
I thought it was a good performance to retire on, even in a loss.
I felt like BK said, Brian Kenny said one of the most amazing things I had ever heard. I hadn't thought about it at all. I don't think I even knew it until he said it. He says, Manny Pacquiao has had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
Yeah.
And when he said that, my jaw dropped. We were on live, and my jaw dropped because I know it was coming.
Yeah.
And as soon as they said it and I heard it, I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
I looked at Keith, I said, yo, we're fighting for 1 Hall of Fame career, and this man has had 2 Hall of Fame careers. For you to go out like this, it's your Dennis Ugas, it's one of the elite fighters in the world, and what other old head out there is willing to take on or could take on one of these guys? You know what I mean? So I think it's that time, and I'd love for him to go back home and run for president.
Whether Manny Pacquiao still has it or not, one thing's for sure, his comeback has got everyone talking. Some believe he's still got enough in the tank, while others think it's time for him to step aside. His fight with Mario Barrios could go either way, but that's what makes it exciting. Is this Manny's chance to prove he's still the king of the welterweight division, or will the younger guy Barrios show that the torch has already been passed? Whatever happens, all eyes will be on the ring. Let us know in the comments below what you think Manny's next move should be.